So we are doing the raffle, and in Venmo we have $1,035. In cash we have $725, and the finale pot total is $1,760. Okay.
All right.
All right. Woo! Do you want to give it a shuffle? Justin, you want to give it a shuffle? Nice shuffle.
We want the PAs.
Yes, we want the PAs to win. That's what we want to win. And this is the moment of truth that we have all been waiting for. Dion, you might want to come closer. Emily, you might want to come closer. What do we have? Who is it? PAs! Oh my God, give me the ticket. Let's see the ticket. And it's from Justin! Okay, so congratulations to all the PAs. And the winners of the PAs, Justin Baldoni, Lovely. Wow.
That's hilarious.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, besties. Welcome back to my channel. So, here's the tea. Blake Lively's superstar friends apparently played a huge role in how she managed this film and the way she flexed her influence, according to the Statement of Undisputed Facts filed just yesterday in court by Wayfair. Basically, this document lays out all the facts as they've been verified by the evidence they have. Now, Blake will get a chance to respond and push back against these claims, but let's talk about the text messages, specifically the ones between Blake and Taylor Swift. For months leading up to this, fans and insiders alike were asking, why haven't we seen anything from Taylor and Blake? I mean, Blake has been putting her side of the story on the docket regarding Wayfair, and we're getting to see their exchanges. But where's Blake's full side of the narrative, right? And here's the kicker. Within their summary judgment and the Statement of Undisputed Facts, the texts Baldoni shared with Blake are under seal. So even the messages we already saw in the amended complaint are being redacted. It's honestly wild. Someone publicly releases these documents, and then poof, they black out the key parts. Why? Because Blake is demanding confidentiality. Remember her CRD complaint? Filed under seal, but the New York Times had access. Now, her texts with Baldoni are also under seal, even though we've technically seen them before. And yes, messages between Blake and her friends are also being hidden from public view. Here's the juicy part. Wayfair was only really interested in one friend, Taylor Swift. And the reason? Taylor was reportedly at the penthouse when Blake wanted to discuss the rooftop scene. Funny thing, the Statement of Facts doesn't outright name Taylor. They just call her a famous friend. But anyone paying attention knows who they mean. Let me give you an example. When filming started, Blake apparently used her famous friends to pressure Baldoni to accept her script revisions. On April 8th, Blake sent him her proposed tweaks for the rooftop scene, the moment the two main characters first meet. These texts, yeah, they're in the complaint. By April 14th, Baldoni responded that he liked the changes. He added some notes, and then Blake revealed that her husband actually wrote the scene she had proposed. Crazy, right? Now, if you look back at April 8th in the amended complaint, you'll see Blake calling Taylor her dragon. You remember that, right? On April 14th, she even sent a text referencing Game of Thrones, saying something along the lines of, if you ever watch it, you'll get that I'm Khaleesi and my dragons, usually for good, protect those I fight for. And really, we all benefit from these gorgeous monsters of mine. These texts came after Baldoni told her it would have been fine even without Taylor being there. Then, on April 12th, another celebrity friend walked in, someone connected to both Reynolds and Lively, and praised Blake's script. The Statement of Facts still doesn't name Taylor outright, but yes, it's her. Using my own reasoning, it seems that Blake leveraged her circle of famous friends to take control of the film entirely. The references to February 22nd, 2024, are telling. She allegedly told Sony she wouldn't promote the movie unless she could participate in editing. Over the next weeks, Blake communicated with her celebrity friends, and she didn't hesitate to talk negatively about Baldoni among her Hollywood circle. These are texts she sent about him. Honestly, the only friend who seems relevant in all this is Taylor Swift. Sure, Blake mentioned others like Gigi, Alexis Bledel, America Ferrera, and Amber Tamblyn, but in terms of influence, it's Taylor who stands out. The April texts she sent, and all ongoing communications appear to show Blake strategizing with friends about Baldoni in the film. Some of these are under seal in the exhibits. For instance, an April 26 text is blacked out in the filings. But what we can infer is that Blake could have been discussing ways to control the production with her famous friends. Wayfair suspected as much, and Taylor Swift denied involvement, though we all know how Hollywood influence works. Bradley Cooper was also involved in screening her film cut, as was Hugh Jackman. So, Blake was clearly leaning on her star-studded network for guidance and support. Meanwhile, she allegedly disparaged Baldoni to them, so they doubt and mistrust him. It's like she was stepping in as Wonder Woman to save the film from disaster. There are even references to her talking about Baldoni at the premiere with her famous friends. Hugh Jackman attended the premiere, but Taylor Swift did not. Whether future text releases will include Taylor, Hugh, or Bradley, the court documents hint that there's a lot of juicy discovery coming. Redacted sections and sealed messages hide a lot, but Wayfair wants everything unsealed, the texts, depositions, the whole shebang, because they feel the public has the right to know. I think Blake will fight to keep these under wraps, claiming confidentiality, but Judge Lyman's decision will be key. And here's my take. Nothing in what Baldoni has said so far makes him seem like a liar. The evidence seems to strongly support his account. So why wouldn't Taylor have been involved in some capacity? Whether she knew exactly what was happening or just offered advice as a friend, her music ended up in the film, and Blake claimed she needed favors to secure it due to budget limits. Okay, besties, let's keep digging because it gets even juicier. So, continuing on the Taylor Swift angle, remember how we talked about Blake using her dragon analogy for Taylor? Well, it looks like Blake was systematically weaving her network of friends into the movie process, almost like a chess game. While Baldoni was trying to run his vision of the film, Blake was quietly lining up Hollywood heavyweights to support her, influence Sony, and ensure her control over the creative process. We know that Taylor, Hugh Jackman, and Shawn Levy were the main players in the circle. And Blake wasn't shy about pulling their strings, apparently. This isn't just speculation. The summary judgment and undisputed facts in court suggest she was actively discussing the movie, her edits, and even disparaging Baldoni with these friends. The goal? To gain leverage over the production and sideline him. Now let's rewind a bit. In the months leading up to this, there was a lot of confusion around why Blake's communications were missing from the public record. Sure, we could see the amended complaint with her texts to Baldoni, but everything else, her chats with friends, was redacted or under seal. So we're left piecing together the story from what's publicly known, but the clues are very telling. For example, the April texts, which we mentioned earlier, are a classic case of Blake flexing influence. On April 8th, she sent the rooftop scene revisions, and by April 14th, Baldoni had approved them, but Blake revealed that her husband actually wrote the scene. At the same time, she was sending messages to Taylor, her dragon, about how the changes would protect her interests and her vision. It's almost like she had this secret army of support in her corner. April 12th is also interesting because a mega celebrity friend of Reynolds and Lively walked in and praised her script. They still don't name Taylor, but the context makes it clear. And this pattern continues throughout the document. Blake leveraged her famous friend's opinions to assert authority over the movie. It's subtle, strategic, and honestly, a little intimidating. Fast forward to February 22nd, 2024. According to the filings, Blake allegedly told Sony that she would not promote the film unless she could participate in the editing process. That's huge. She's basically saying, either I get creative input or I won't market the movie. And over the next few weeks, she was actively messaging her Hollywood friends, shaping the narrative and potentially undermining Baldoni's authority. Wayfair's filings indicate that Blake disparaged Baldoni among her famous circle. We're talking texts where she describes him negatively, probably to ensure her friends would side with her. And remember, while Blake mentioned a few friends, it's clear that Taylor Swift was the main influencer. The April texts and other communications indicate she was strategically building her leverage. And here's a twist. Bradley Cooper was reportedly involved in screening her cut of the film, as was Hugh Jackman. So Blake wasn't just relying on Taylor. She was tapping into a whole network of celebrities to bolster her position. Meanwhile, Baldoni was being sidelined, removed from marketing materials, the trailer, and even his own film credits. It's wild when you think about it. The director of the film gets pushed out while the actress steps in with a cadre of Hollywood stars to guide the project. Let's talk about the premiere. We know that Hugh Jackman attended, but Taylor Swift did not. Still, the potential for text messages from Taylor, Hugh, or Bradley Cooper in future court filings is high. The discovery process hints at a lot of hidden communications, all meant to show how Blake orchestrated control behind the scenes. Wayfair wants it all unsealed, the texts, depositions, the whole thing, because they believe the public deserves transparency. Here's my take, besties. I don't see any evidence suggesting Baldoni was lying. In fact, the filings seem to back up his claims. He consistently pursued his vision, yet Blake's network made it increasingly difficult for him to maintain creative control. Taylor Swift's role? Maybe advisory, maybe more, but her influence is undeniable. Her music ended up in the film, and Blake claimed budget constraints meant she needed favors to make it happen. It gets more interesting when we consider the music. Blake reportedly had to scrap the original score and replace it with a soundtrack of her favorite songs. She even hired another composer, which raises questions about who was advising her. Ryan, Shawn, Hugh, and Taylor? Most likely, yes. Their input seems to have been highly valued, and Sony apparently preferred the setup because it drew more publicity for the film. This scenario paints a clear picture. While Baldoni worked tirelessly to execute his vision, Blake leveraged her high-profile friends to assert influence. He relented repeatedly, but Blake's strategic use of celebrity power gave her leverage he simply didn't have. And it's not just about the movie, this is Hollywood politics at its finest. Fame, influence, and networking determining creative control. By now, it's apparent that the main players are Hugh Jackman, Shawn Levy, and Taylor Swift. Blake's approach: engage them, get advice, use their sway to push her agenda, and subtly undermine Baldoni. Whether Taylor Swift knowingly influenced decisions or just offered casual input, the result was that Blake gained considerable control over the project. And let's not forget the financial angle. By bringing in these big names, Blake became more valuable to Sony than Baldoni. She had leverage that extended beyond the director's vision, the ability to draw star power and attention. Meanwhile, Baldoni's influence diminished, and he faced the very public humiliation of being removed from credits and marketing campaigns. It's also telling how the text messages show Blake strategically communicating with her friends about the film. The pattern is clear: protect your interests, influence the production, and surround yourself with supportive voices. Taylor, Hugh, and Shawn weren't just friends. They were allies in ensuring Blake's creative vision dominated. Finally, it's worth noting how this impacts public perception. All these behind-the-scenes moves, sealed texts, and strategic alliances show how power operates in Hollywood. Fame, friendships, and influence aren't just perks, they're tools to shape outcomes, even in major film productions. And while we may not see all the texts, the filings give us a window into the game Blake was playing. In short, Blake's strategy was methodical: use her circle to gain creative control, leverage celebrity influence to sway decisions, and ensure her vision was prioritized. Baldoni tried to hold on to his role, but the odds were stacked against him. Taylor Swift's involvement may have been advisory, but her presence, and the backing of Hugh Jackman and Shawn Levy, was a game-changer in how the film unfolded. So besties, to wrap this all up, the takeaway is pretty wild. Blake wasn't just an actress showing up to a set. She orchestrated influence behind the scenes using some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, and Shawn Levy were more than just friends. They were part of the inner circle shaping the production. Blake's text messages, now partially sealed, suggest she was actively leveraging their opinions to strengthen her control and steer the movie her way. Even though Taylor didn't attend the premiere, her involvement behind the scenes, whether offering advice or approving music choices, played a role in Blake's strategy. And as far as Sony was concerned, having these celebrity endorsements made Blake more valuable than the director, which is shocking when you think about it. Baldoni, who conceived the vision for the film, found himself systematically sidelined despite all his hard work. His name removed from the credits, marketing materials, and trailer. It's almost unheard of in Hollywood. What's really fascinating is how the text messages revealed Blake's calculated approach. She wasn't just having casual chats, She was mapping out influence, aligning her friends, and even disparaging Baldoni to ensure they didn't side with him. Using her famous friends as leverage was a smart, if controversial, tactic. It's a reminder of just how much power and networking can shift control in the entertainment industry. The music situation adds another layer. Blake claimed the film budget couldn't cover a song like Taylor's, so she had to pull strings and call in favors. Then she scrapped the original score and replaced it with her preferred soundtrack. This, along with hiring a new composer, shows that she wasn't just taking notes. She was actively shaping the film's identity. Taylor's music, her input, and the support of Hugh Jackman and Shawn, Levy all factored into the final product. And let's not forget the public fallout. Baldoni, being removed from the trailer and marketing, faced not only professional but also public scrutiny, while Blake maintained her position as the central figure in the narrative. The filings indicate that all of this was planned, deliberate, and strategically executed to maximize her influence and control over the project. At the end of the day, this whole situation highlights how fame, influence, and friendship intersect in Hollywood. Blake wasn't just working on a film, she was working the system. And Taylor Swift's involvement, whether fully aware or just as a supportive friend, shows how celebrity connections can tip the scales in major creative projects. Wayfair is pushing to have all texts and depositions unsealed because the public has a right to know what actually went on. Blake may fight to keep things under wraps, but it seems inevitable that more of these communications will come to light. And when they do, it will reveal just how calculated and networked this whole operation was. So what do you think, besties? Do you believe Taylor had a big hand in all of this, or was she just offering friendly advice? And do you think Blake's strategy was savvy or a bit manipulative? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you never miss any updates on this saga. Thanks so much for watching, besties. Until next time, stay curious, stay caffeinated, and keep spilling the tea.